All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to prepare what's called opening the gates exercises. And that's a combination of basically very light stretching, and we tend to focus on our joints in the body, our neck, our shoulders, our elbows, that sort of thing. A side element of this practice, it actually builds tendon. You wouldn't think that that's possible, but it does. So that's a side benefit of it. And so what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be stretching and opening up the chi meridians in our body so that when we get into the movement set, doing Supreme Science Qigong, which Gwyn is going to share with us, we should be good to go. So the first thing I want to talk about is how do we breathe? Let's talk a little bit. I talked about how important spinal alignment is. So the first thing we want to do is I want everybody you want to stand comfortably. See how my toes aren't exactly straight. They're just a little bit flared out, but not bad. I'm going to put a slight bend in my knees. I'm going to relax, just kind of relax. And the reason why I do that, I'm going to turn to my right. If you notice that if I stand with my legs locked like most people do, this kicks my butt out. It causes a slight bend there. So by bending my knees just enough to make my coccyx, my hips, perpendicular to the ground. Very important. That helps us establish our initial grounding point that runs out through our feet. The next thing we want to do is our shoulders should be relaxed and forward and over our hips. The next thing is our ears should be over our shoulders. And then imagine a string of light coming up out of your chakra that's attached to your head, just slightly pulling you up. This will help you keep alignment. So what we're doing is we're aligning our spines. We're keeping our spine straight and our body aligned so energy can move freely through our body. Now I want you to close your eyes as you think and work on your spinal alignment. And I want you to relax. Take nice, slow, deep breaths, however you want to do it. This is a variation of what they call Wuji stance or formlessness stance. This is the stance we started in when we began our Qigong practice, movement sets. Now, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, just someplace that's comfortable. If saliva collects, just swallow it. This is called golden nectar. It's charged with energy, so it's your personal medicine. So the tip of the tongue on the roof of our mouth that connects those big rivers that run up our back and down the front of our body. It also enables us to not get energy trapped in our head, and we can ground energy out down into the ground through our feet as we practice. The Chinese have a proverb saying, don't cook your brain. This is what they're talking about. You got to give that energy someplace to go. Now we're going to get into how do we breathe. Now that we got our alignment taken care of, we got the tip of our tongue on the roof of our mouth. As you breathe, we're going to begin doing what's called baby's breath. Everything we want to do is from the attitude and perspective of a small child. So we say baby's breath. If you notice how infants breathe, they belly breathe. They breathe with their bellies. Their upper chest doesn't rise or fall. So we're going to breathe in and out through our nose. We're going to keep our mouths closed. And we're going to let our belly get real big until it gets nice, big, and fat, as far out as we can let it. We're going to relax everything as we breathe in. As soon as we have inhaled as much air as we can, we're going to slowly start squeezing our abdominal muscles in and our pelvic floor muscles and make that exhale there. This is deeper than diaphragm breathing. Take your hands and make a triangle. Now just put it right over in your belly, someplace where it's comfortable. Feel your stomach get bigger as you breathe in. Your chest doesn't rise. Let it out. Squeeze your stomach muscles. your pelvic floor till all the air is out. Our breathing is seamless. The minute I stop exhaling, I begin inhaling. The minute I finish inhaling, I begin exhaling. Now let's take a moment and let's just do our baby's breath silent. Your arms, keep doing your belly breathing. Now let your arms relax and hang it to your sides. Now, what we're going to start doing is we're going to start opening up the gates. So we're going to begin with opening up what's called the jade gate, which is where the spinal column connects to the skull. So I want you to look down. And I want you to look up as far as you can. Look down. Look up. Look down. Look up. Look down. Look up. Look down. Look up. Now look forward. Turn your head to the right, gently as far as you can. A little bit behind you. Turn your head to the left. Do the same thing. Turn your head to the right. Do the same thing. Make sure you keep yourself in your spinal alignment. Turn to the left. To the right. Turn to the left. Turn to the right. Turn to the left. Come back to center. Look down. Relax your neck. Let gravity stretch your neck. Now, slowly start rolling your neck to the right. Nice and slow. Relax into the stretch. All the way in a circle. Do it again. One more time. Get back to center. Go back the other way. Last time. Back to center. Always come back to center when you're rolling your neck. Now bring your neck up one vertebrae at a time. Good. Now let's start moving our arms back and forth. Loosen up the shoulder gates a little bit and start moving your arms in big circles. Keep doing your belly breathing. Relax. More relax. Go back the other way. Good. Nice. Now stand out into the wider stance. We're going to open up the side gates. Meridians that run down the side of our body, down into our hips. Point your palm to the air. Kind of like, you know, here it can be like holding a bowl of water or something. Just doing a slight stretch. Don't do anything too extreme. Come back. Side stretch. You might even feel a bit of a stretch in your groin muscles. Come back. You can try looking up. You can see that changes the stretch a little bit. Come back. Good. You're all doing good. Looks good. Look good, Jeff. Point your palm up to the ceiling. There you go. Yeah. One more time. Good. How's your foot feeling? Is it okay so far? Not good.
So you're supposed to be Rice Krispies in my neck.
Yeah, you're gonna hit a little crickles, cracks, and pops.
Yep.
Yeah, and helps keep the spine up here aligned. Helps open up the jade gate and other meridians in the neck. And as Americans, we tend to have horrible posture. We spend a lot of time hunched over stuff, doing repetitive tasks, and so that's where you're getting all that cracking and creaking. Also, I think you're about my age, aren't you? Yes, yes. Okay, now let's put our hands out in front of us. Let's turn all the way to the right. Let's go back to the left and let's speed it up. You can feel slight stretch down into your hips. Keep your spine straight. Look ahead. Your eyes follow your hands. The general rule when you do Qigong. Good. Come back to center. Put your hands on your hips. We're going to roll out our hips, so make sure your spine's aligned. And my top of my head, my crown chakra is going to be aligned with this in between my feet, right down my center line through my perineum. So start rolling your hips as a big circle as you can. When you first start doing it, might be a smaller circle. That's okay. With time, it becomes more extreme or deeper. Opening up the gates in our hips, the sacral region. Pay attention to how it feels. Pay attention to your body. You're learning about these parts of your body too by paying attention to them. Go back the other way. Good. Put your hands on your knees. Now we're going to roll our knees in small circles. Go back the other way. Come back. Now lightly push back on your knees. Feel a little stretch, but don't do it too much. We're not don't hyperextend your knee or damage your tensors. Just a slight push. That's good. Now widen your stance out a little bit. Take your right foot, point it towards the ground, and then roll your ankle. Big circle as you can. Go back the other way. One of the old men in Japan said that rolling your wrists and your ankles like this is one of the most important exercises that you should do every day. Back the other way. Good now. Take your legs and shake them. Relax your feet, shake it. Yeah, that's good. All right. Nice. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open up the gates in our arms. So put your hands out, make a fist, and then start rolling your wrists. Go back the other way. Good. Now put your right hand out. Just let your arm fall, let gravity do the work, don't force it. Opening up the gate in our elbows. If you're ever having trouble opening up a can of pickles, try doing this and see if you can do it. Oftentimes you can. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to take your hands and rub them together. Look at your hands and concentrate on them. Now clap. Shake your hands off like you're flicking water off of them. All right, good. Now that we're loose, we're going to do some 4 gates breathing. So now stand comfortably. Start in Muchi, begin your belly breathing. Make sure the tip of your tongue's in the roof of your mouth. And take your arms and hold them out slightly, like so. Be slightly up. If you want to do them down, you can. I'm just kind of doing it like so. Concentrate on your belly. With your eyes closed, look down into your belly. As you breathe in, see energy rushing in through your hands and up through your feet. It all races and meets in your belly at the same time. As you exhale, energy exhales back out through your arms and your feet. See white light rushing through your arms and legs into your belly. Combine. As you exhale, it exits out next through your arms and legs. Try to relax. You might be starting to feel it in your arms a little bit. These kinds of exercises are called standing on stay. One of the side benefits is it builds incredible core and muscle strength the more of these exercises you do. You want to use the minimal amount of muscle strength to hold your position. Try to relax and see the energy is holding you up. Take your hands left over right. You just put your left hand on your belly, your right hand over it. Keep doing your belly breathing. Look down and see a ball of white light in your belly. You exhale, tighten your stomach muscles and your pelvic floor as tight as you can. And that ball of white light gets a little small, relax. Inhale. You exhale again, the ball of light gets a little bit smaller and smaller as you exhale. Relax your belly. Exhale. See the ball of light get so small that it disappears. You feel it being absorbed into your intestines. Just relax and hang down by your sides. And open your eyes when you're ready. They're closed. We just completed a preliminary and simple 4 gates exercise. Good work, everybody. And Gwyn, it's all yours.
Now I have to try to collect my thoughts after that. It's all great. What was I supposed to talk about? All right, so we are going to shift gears just a little bit. That was really grounding. Thank you. That was great. So let's start by bringing the energy up just a little bit. And I was talking about that circulatory system earlier. So this first one is going to start to just get lymph and blood flowing. So let's transition slowly. We won't go right into shake it. Let's start with the Zen swing. So for this one, we're going to take our feet as wide as our shoulders. And we're going to just move from side to side. So you're going to lift your heel on one side and then swing your arms the opposite way. And just let your head follow your arms. And just go side to side. And it doesn't have to be in time with anyone else in the room. Just find your flow. Again, allowing your eyes to follow your hands. Just opens up the hips and the shoulders, and again starts to get lymph and blood moving through the system. Doing the belly breathing still, staying connected to the breath throughout the practice. With the Qigong forms that I teach, that's one of the big keys, is really coordinating the breath and the movement. We'll start to bring it down now, so just coming to a slow stop. Then we'll bring the energy up just a bit more with the shake it. So here we're going to keep our feet planted, a little bit of bend in the knees when we start to bounce. And then we're going to do the same thing with the arms. We start to bounce from the elbows. Good. So just begin to be like 5-year-old in the living room, watching cartoons. You're having a good time. Close your eyes on this one. Picture a fun scene, right? So part of this, my friend Grayson talked about too, is child's mind. And this is like some child's play right here. So we get playful with Qigong. It's nature and play are two of the big things within that as well that we tap into those healing energies. So allow yourself in this moment to just, shake out your neck, shake out your joint, the arms, your legs, all of it. Shake off the tension. Let it go. Whatever was going on before you walked in this room, still be there waiting when you're done to just enjoy this moment here. Good. And then we're going to slow down. We don't want to stop abruptly. So we're going to just let the hands hang now. Keep the legs going. Good. And then start to slow your bounce until you come to a gradual halt. Good. Okay. So for the next one, we're going to just start to sense the energy field. This is called empty force. In the extended version of practice, we do all 3 dantians. Today, for time's sake, we're just going to do at the middle dantian, our heart. So we want our feet relatively under our hips, mostly forward, a little bit of bend in the knees, And just that same posture alignment Grayson showed us earlier. So we're bringing hands up, shoulders relax, fingertips align, and thumbs come down so that you have like a J shape so that they align as well. We inhale and open the arms, kicking out the elbows a little bit like you're hugging a tree. And then exhale, bring hands together. Little tree hug together here. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. You can keep your eyes on your hands. You can close your eyes. You can keep your eyes on me wherever you want to cast your gaze. Ultimately, it is going within, and Qigong is repetitive. So you can get really lost in it. Go as deep as you want. Visualize anything that you want. I'm going to take you through some visualizations today that work for me, but it's up to you to find your own ultimately. It fits into your life. So as we're doing these open and closed movements at the middle dantian, just a couple more here, start to think about what you feel between your hands. It may be nothing. You may just be like, oh, my shoulders hurt, hold up my arms. But if you can, focus on what you feel as your hands come a little closer together. Maybe it's kind of a magnetic sensation, like the hands want to attract or repel one another. Some people sense it more like a pulsating or a warming or vibration. There's no right or wrong. Taking time to notice. Last one, as we come to our heart this next time, we'll pause there, let everyone get there. And then from here, we're going to bring hands towards our chest and start to circle around. Okay. And the breathing on this one is we inhale as we open. Exhale as you pull toward. Good. Inhale, circle around. So the visualization that I like to use is that I'm gathering up chi. The word chi means life force. So we're gathering up all that teeming energy that we can't see, but it's moving in the air around. So we're gathering it up with the in-breath. As we exhale, we pull hands towards us. So we're breathing out what we don't want, releasing the old stagnant energy. As we breathe that out, at the same time, we're pulling in that new energy that we've been gathering up. These can be old thoughts, behaviors, and beliefs that you want to release. Pulling in new thoughts, behaviors, and beliefs if you want to take its place. So it can just be nature and beauty. Do whatever you want to practice. And last time, big circle. As we get to our heart, we'll pause. Now the next one, we're going to go down like a waterfall. So we turn the palms up and just let the hands come down the front of the body. We circle in front. That's our in-breath. As we get out in front of the chest, we're going to pause and pulse the hands. So imagine you've got like a ball between your hands and you're just bouncing on the edge of that. Let's see if you can feel the parameters between your hands. And then we're going to pull hands towards our chest again, and we'll link up the breathing next. Good. So we inhale, hands go down, circle in front. Hold your breath, pulse the connection. Good. Exhale, pull hands towards your body. We can visualize that same thing here. We drop down, inhale, circling, gathering up the chi. Hold your breath. This is the alchemy process. Got the chi, we're moving it, we're manipulating it. And then we're going to exhale out old stagnant energy and pull in that new energy. The transmutation process right there. Good. Two more inhales, circle down and in front. Hold breath, pulse connection. Good. Exhale, pull toward. Inhale down and around. Hold breath, pulse connection. Exhale, pull hands towards, and we'll turn palms down, pressing hands towards the floor, and take a little bit wider stance, and we're going to spiral. So as we stand, we're going to just keep the feet planted, but you're just rocking between toe and heel. Okay, so you're just getting a little bit of movement in the ball of the foot And then here we're circling a little bend in the elbow, just a gentle bend, and then spiraling. So energy comes to us in healing patterns and spirals. We can see that all in nature. Everything spirals. So too we spiral. So, all right, from here we're going to go into cloud hands. So we're going to bring hands up the front of our body, staying planted on the feet now. Turn palms, turn fingertips up, palms face each other, pulsing that connection. In the Supreme Science Qigong form, your pulse is always going to be your breath hold. Good. Then we're going to exhale, push hands overhead. Shift your wrists so fingertips align, and then you're going to draw a circle of energy like a rainbow around. Good. And then we just come back down in front of the body. Inhale, we pull up. Turn fingertips up, hold breath, pulsing your connection. Good. Exhale, palms to the front, press overhead. Shift your wrists in. Exhale, and slow down. Good, and just go find your own breath pace on this. So inhale up. Hold breath, pulse. All right, and then go at your own pace. For this one, the visualization I enjoy is that I am creating a protective bubble of energy around my person. So there are 3 types of qi in Chinese philosophy. We have earth, human, and heaven. So with this particular practice, we're pulling earth energy up. Holding breath, we alchemize, mixing it with our human energy. We exhale, pressing into the heavens, pulling heaven energy down around the sun. 2. As our hands come down, we'll just step feet together. And we're going to bring hands up in between the 2 dantians. Exhale, push down. We'll circle at the bottom. We inhale, pull up. Exhale, press down. Create that little spin here. Spiraling energy, we pull it up. Exhale down. Last time. On this next one, we're going to take hands up, both hands up. We pull up, we're going to turn palms to the front, press overhead. Holding there, lean slightly back, just look up at the hands, really open through your fingertips. The meridians in and our fingers and our toes, we're really wanting to open the hands here. See if you can feel some tingling. We turn palm facing palm, fingertips to the sky, down like a pillar on your side. We'll do 3 more between the 2 dantians. Circle at the bottom and double. And so and then we'll do 1 more of pressing overhead. Bring arms up, turn palms, press and hold. Breathing into the belly, so don't hold your breath. Feel the expansion through your whole body cavity. Feel your belly, your pelvis, chest. Create expansion through it all. Turn palm facing palm, fingertips to the sky. Hold it. Place one on the belly, other hand goes on top. Close your eyes. Just feel how you feel in your body. We're going to move now from the Qigong practice to just a little bit of a somatic practice. Feel like they go hand in hand. So now, with your mind's eye, see if you can kind of see into your body and feel into your body and notice if there's one foot weighted greater than the other. Feel one hip carrying more weight and shift it to one side. And the knees bent equally. There's no need to force change. If you notice a difference from side to side, that's just noticing here. See if you can sense any temperature changes from one side of the body to the other. Tingling or pulsating in one area more than another. Allow your focus and attention to be on the sensations of your body. Now with 3 deep belly breaths, allow the energy as you take a deep breath in to expand into the area where you maybe felt some blockage, maybe you felt tense or however you sensed it, area that needs more attention. Send your deep belly breath to that area so you go beyond the belly. Send your attention, your focus, that neural firing, send it to the area that needs it. Your body knows. One more full and complete breath in. And upon exhalation of that breath, just come opening the eyes and come down to seated position. Have you just lay on your backs on the mat for it. Lay down, have your knees bent. Go ahead and place your feet on the ground, knees bent. And here what I'm going to have you do is just start to rock your pelvis back and forth gently. You're doing actually more like pelvic thrusts, if you will. So it's a tiny little tuck under and a tiny little tuck back. So you should feel your low back flatten into the mat. And then you should feel your hand like you could put your hand under there. So there's a little arch. So the knees stay stationary to begin with. No movement in the knees. It's just all in the hips. It's a gentle rocking back and forth. Tucking the pelvis under, flattening the low back, and then get a little arch in the low back. And you should feel your spine like a wave. Feel the energy waving through your spine as you tuck the pelvis under. And you should feel it come up to the base of your skull as you get the arch. And then as you flatten your back, you should feel chin come towards your chest. You're just tucking and arching, knees are stationary. Two more of those, and then we're going to change to a swivel. Last pelvic tuck. And then come to just a stationary position with nothing moving. And then we'll swivel. So with the swivel, it's like an accordion motion. You're going to take one hip to your rib cage. So think about like an accordion. Your hip bone and your rib cage are moving closer one side to the other. I'm just doing it so it's just like a pelvic tilt. So from side to side. It's like a hip hike. You're hiking your hip one side. Again, just noticing, does one pelvic side, one pelvic bone have more movement than the other? Feel that. Notice where there's any restrictions. Breathe into that. And now we'll come to stationary position one more time. Everything is still. Take your feet as wide as your mat. And drop both legs over to your right. And take your left arm overhead. Arm comes up, you're just going to stretch through your side body. Take a deep breath in, reaching through your fingertips. And just feel the stretch all the way down your arm and even into your hip and leg that's outstretched there. And the knee is bent. And now bring that hand back to your belly and transition your legs to the other side. Reaching arm overhead. Take a deep breath in and reaching back. See if you can create length. This is the lateral line in the fascial system. Just creating links within that tissue. And then come back. And you can either lengthen out your legs here, or you can keep your knees bent if that feels better in your low back. We're going to go into just a little bit of Savasana here just for a few minutes. I want you to just be able to find comfort, so whether you need to put a blanket under your knees or under your head or put socks on or whatever's going to make you feel cozy, we're going to just lay still for a few minutes. Just integrate the experience, the information that we've had in this class. Before we go into the full Savasana, do place hand over hand on the belly center again. We're just going to close the practice with some circles around the navel. Circling around 3 times. Pausing at the bottom of your third circle, just beneath the navel. And then after that pause, you'll circle 3 times the opposite direction. Sealing in all that energy from our practice today in the lower dantian. Pausing at the bottom of that third final circle, pressing very gently into the abdomen. And then you can either leave your hands here or open them up into the true Savasana position at your side, whichever feels most comforting to you. Just take some time to breathe. again to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes a little. And hug both knees into your chest. Then just gently roll to your right side and pause here for a moment. Taking a few more deep breaths. Lengthen out your top leg and use your top arm to gently press yourself up. Allow your head to be the last thing that comes up. Just nice and slow. Pressing yourself up into a seated position. Seated, close your eyes, bring hands in palm facing palm posture at your chest. Sit up tall for your spine. A few more breaths with you. We just like to close the practice with a moment of gratitude. Gratitude towards ourselves for showing up, getting out of the house, being willing to work on ourselves. It's not always easy to get out. Set aside time for these things. So have gratitude towards yourself for making yourself a priority. A moment of gratitude towards one another. The group energy is always stronger than the one. And a moment of gratitude towards divine source, however you see that. For knowing a bigger picture than us and guiding us through people, places, and things on our journey. So we breathe together again. Be well. Thank you for practicing, and we're happy to answer any questions that you may have. You guys get back into your bodies. Can you think of any questions?
I got a question. What is the best and fastest ways to heal a
Broken bone. So, part of the instruction that I have received is the food healing. So silica is a product in like cucumber. I juice cucumbers. There's actually horsetail is a herb or root, I guess, that you can use. Then doing qigong, it does strengthen bones. Obviously, if you have a broken leg, you're not going to want to stand with your leg to do qigong, but you can certainly send healing energy to that area through like we're going to talk about in our 8-week course, like qi transmission. So part of what I learned is external qigong is what we call it. I think in my system, it's a little different than the language and what Grayson has learned, but in the qi transmission, what he calls external qigong, where you're giving that, you're cultivating that energy reserve and putting it into someone else. You're giving that healing transmission. So you can certainly do that with broken bone. Do you have anything to add, Grayson?
It'd be akin to, having a Reiki practitioner, work on you and put the energy into the bone. It's the same process. It's just that we're talking about differences of energy and frequencies. The best way I could put it. Another thing that you can do is, if you're at that point, there's exercises known as bone breathing in Qigong that would certainly help heal a broken bone. And I did a lot of that. I fractured my hand in 5 places a few years back. Had a really bad fall, and so I did a lot of that. It was a long recovery as it was, but it did help a little bit.
Anybody else?
So as far as the breathing, is the goal or the aim to keep that belly breathing throughout everything.
In my understanding, Qigong breathing or belly breathing should be what we do all the time, every day. Now, there's a lot of other practices that you can get into, different types of manipulating the breath, that do a lot of different things depending on how you breathe, whether you amp the nervous system up or settle the nervous system down or circulate the energy through the, through the body. So,
Yeah, it's the qigong breathing is the baby's breath is supposed to be all the time, every day, 24/7.
right.
It should become the way you breathe, and it takes practice. But with time, you get the body trained, and it'll just start naturally doing that. If you watch little babies, that's where the term "baby's breath" comes from. Is that they relax and their little bellies get so big, and then they slowly sit there and they do that. And the Taoist immortals, they sat there and they watched kids, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm not breathing like that. Maybe I should try doing that." A lot of meditation practices came from the old sages and the shamans that sort of sit around and watching nature. The Taoist underpinnings of qigong. And definitely, echoes in the West too, of the Western alchemists, like the philosophers of nature, that sort of thing. In East Qigong, we hear alchemy. In the West, we have alchemy. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of intersectionality, for lack of a better word, between the two systems. And so, if you kind of understand what's going on with one, and you start playing with another, it makes it easier to get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
An observation I'd like to share is that throughout the whole lecture portion, I couldn't sit still and I was all over the place. And now I feel so calm and centered, and it's not a big deal to just sit.
Yeah, I feel the magic too.
What did you say?
I feel magic.
You feel the magic, you feel it.
Yeah.
How did today's practice treat you, Jeff?
I want to do it every day.
Yeah, awesome. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do is give people the tools to be able to do this every day. And you get to where you can do it while you're driving a car. You can do it while you're working. There's all kinds of things that you can be doing it. And I'd probably say one of the most important practices is the baby's breath. All the stuff that you learn at the beginning is called a kihon in the tradition I teach, which means a fundamental principle or basic. It's they show you, and when I was younger, I thought, oh, I would have learned the advanced cool stuff, right? Techniques. But then as I got older and I started getting, oh, they did show me the most important stuff. They showed it to me first because that was actually most important. And the baby's breath, if you master it and it becomes your go-to way of breathing, you'll find that just by itself, it creates a lot, naturally cultivates energy. You'll probably feel a lot healthier and all that stuff. But as with all these things, yeah, you can do a little qigong every so often and feel the energy and go, hey man, that was really cool. And then just go about your life and do it again some other time. But if you really want to get the benefit of it, it's like you're talking about, Jeff, it's from having a consistent practice. And ideally weaving as much of it in as you can into just the way that you are, and that way you're always practicing.
So one of the techniques that I learned was Wuji walking, that's what it was called, and it was how to basically just when you're walking, you're cultivating chi, and so that's kind of a fun thing I teach sometimes. You probably can get into it in the AV course at some point, I'm sure. So it's a little bit it's not quite as flowy as a normal walk, but so you can kind of tell if somebody's doing it. It's like, well, that's not a normal walk, but you can really feel do what.
Weirdo.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, just walk along the beach. They're like, what's happening there? So, okay, well, I'm going to pass these out. Maybe. Okay. So these are just, this is some information coming about our 8-week course. Okay. Do you want to, okay.
But I like that those in color.
Well, so one of them was in color and the other just came out in black and white. So it's kind of a weird thing. Okay, we've got the course syllabus on that first page, and then the back side of that page we'll kind of talk about what all's included. And And then we have kind of our bonuses for people that are signing up right now. So we have about a week. We're gonna start on the 19th, so a little over a week before we get started, and just excited to be able to really dive into this. We're just talking about, some of the fun, cool basics here today. And so with each of these things, we'll get to really dive into it. I'm excited.
So you changed the dates.
Yes, the 19th. So, because the 12th is just like this coming Tuesday, and we wanted to have people have a little bit of time after this class to sign up. So, yes. So yeah, that's important to know.
Yes, it is.
I think when we talked on the phone, I mentioned that we were probably gonna push the day.
You didn't know exactly.
If it was gonna happen or
Wait, it's
not.
gonna be fast.
The 19th. So yeah, it's
Where?
class begins right here on the 19th. So where?
Wait,
Yeah, it'll be at Spirit House Yoga off of 50th and Chartel.
oh, I could, yeah.
Okay, yes, so yes, that's
That's your place, right?
yeah, I'm sorry.
That's your place.
Yes, it's the studio I work out of.
So each week it's 90 minutes.
Yeah, each week will be 90 minutes, so from 6:30 to 8, we'll have it on Zoom as well as, live, and we'll have somebody helping us with the recording, so we'll be set.
And one of the things, the course is going to, you'll have, daily lessons, videos, emails, reflections, all kinds of things are going to happen with the course. It's not just, we're going to get together once a week and do a class. That's to solidify what we're working on for that week, what the syllabus is for the week. Each week, we're going to focus on a different topic, and we're going to go into it really deep. History, effects, practice. That's one of the things I like about Qigong is that it's scientific in the sense that if you do this exercise, this is going to happen. And it happens every single time somebody does it. And that's what I like about it, is you're not just kind of going on a wing and a prayer and hoping that it turns out all right. The thing is, you do this, and that's actually what made me a believer in it, is I'd been competing my entire life. And so I really thought it was technique and training and conditioning that won competitions, because I fought and I competed. And then when I started doing the internal martial arts, I didn't even really know what it meant. I knew I was just doing some cool aikijitsu. This is kind of neat. I'm getting to learn how to use a sword and that sort of thing. And that's really, what it's about, if that makes sense. I was going somewhere with that, but I kind of stalled out there. I'm feeling pretty good right now.
You were learning to kick ass.
Yeah, I was learning to kick ass, but I was saying something about the Qigong. The Qigong, but that's where I found it, and that's what it blew me away. Oh yeah, because I came across my teacher's book, in the martial arts section. I was like really hungry, and I was reading everything I possibly could. And I kept looking in the back, and I didn't realize he had a really good sense of humor. And the title of the book is Path Notes of an American Ninja Master. And I was like, oh, this guy's a freaking fraud. And I read the book, and he's talking about seeing auras and Kundalini, and it was like, oh. And then for some reason, something had happened in my practice, and I was starting to feel stuff. And I was like, you know what? I opened up and I bought the book and I read it. And I was like, you know what? If he did this in 3 months, because he sat down and he went really hard for 3 months. And I said, if I get somewhere with this, I'm going to give this stuff 3 months. Now I'm going to see what happens. And guess what I started doing? Just the stuff that was in the book. I wasn't studying the system or anything. And all of a sudden things really started to happen. I was really starting to feel it, and it was like, oh my God, I need to talk to somebody about this. And everybody that I talked to about it didn't know what I was talking about in the local community, in the martial arts community. So I actually tracked Gwyn down and wrote him. And from that, and then I became his direct student, over time as a result of that. And that's how I met him. It was really kind of really strange, but the change was so profound that I had to track him down.
That's kind of how it happened for me too with who I worked under, because I was just going to a massage continuing education course in San Diego. It was 3 days. I can get all the credits I need. Woohoo, I'm in. And then I go and it's like 250 people, all massage therapists, nurses, somebody that could get credits from it a lot of times. And we had 3 days of breathing in a room together, doing Qigong form together, learning about food healing together. And the last day, we had 250 people in like this chairs were like snake-like form. We were all holding hands doing a technique called 9 breath method, which I know now should not be happening for new people. But, just the fact that we were all in unison breathing together. I felt like I was levitating by the end of that. Like I had never felt energy so powerfully. And I mean, I was a massage therapist and I'd been a Reiki attuned years before, but I wasn't really playing with energy aside from, working on people's bodies. And so that was a profound experience. And I just was like, I mean, I'd taken Tai Chi and stuff before, but that was like on a whole nother level. I was like, oh, there's something to this. Like, for sure.
Yeah, and so the course, what we did today was just a little taste, but we're going to really get more heavy into the history, the benefits. You'll know when you're doing exercises, this is what we're working on, and this is what it's going to do. And you can be confident that's going to work. If you've already done the class, I take it you all could feel it, right? Yeah. So is everybody feeling pretty good? So what we're going to do is we're going to get into that. We're going to cover breath work. We're going to do more working on opening the gates and different ways of going about doing that. We'll talk about the Qigong theory. How does it work? From a Qigong perspective, not to sound all hippie about it, but if you think about when you start adding the practices like the 6 perspectives, you're tuning your vibration. Certain thoughts create certain emotions. Certain visualizations have a certain somatic and really existential effect on your body. And so we weave all that together. We'll be doing that. We'll get into the various forms of Qigong. You've had a sampling of that through the 4 gates practice that we did today and the Supreme Science movement set that we did with Gwyn today. We'll be doing more of that. We'll also be getting heavily into the Neigong, which means inner work of it, and the visualizations that go with the course. Of course, there'll be, as a result of this, you will be getting stronger. There will be strength training as part of the program, and we'll be getting into advanced breath work methods that enable you to cultivate and run more energy. And of course, we'll be talking about how key transmission and the medical side of it works. So it's going to be a really good course. It's going to give you a lot of knowledge, but the big thing is to give you a comprehensive and cohesive and rational practice that you can start implementing into your life on a daily basis. And the entire time we're going to be there for you. You're going to have lessons through email, videos. All the videos are going to be archived for you. And all the learning information. We're also going to have a private Facebook group that all the students can interact with each other and receive support, collaborate. We're also going to have one-on-ones every week, 15-minute one-on-ones, longer if necessary, to talk to each and everybody who takes the class to make sure that you stay on track and you have the coaching. Because like I said, it can get kind of weird sometimes. Sometimes it might be a little shadow work. Sometimes you might just need somebody to hold space, but it also always that I found was invaluable to be able to talk to somebody that is a little bit more experienced with me and to give me pointers and to help me. So we'll be giving you the coaching and the support you need throughout the class. And when the class is done, all this information is not going to go away. You will have access to it as long as you're doing it. So you'll always be able to go back, man, I forgot that exercise, or you wanted to get a fine pointer on it. Well, how am I supposed to move with my arm or whatever? You're going to be able to have that kind of reference. And I think that I'm really excited about it. We've had some people already signed up. We're limiting the course to 20 people. Once it fills up to 20, we're closing enrollment. And also when classes start, enrollment is closed. Nobody can start. Once we close the enrollment, it can't be, hey man, I'd really love to do it. It's just, we have to be disciplined like that. So it's for those who want to do it.
$100 off too for having, up until sign up right now.
Yeah, that's a good thing is that the course, 8-week, 2 instructors, very intensive with over 50 years of experience. We were asking $500 for it, but for all of you who came, we're going to knock $100 off. So it'd only be $400. You can do 2 payments. If your situation is different, don't be afraid to talk to one of us about it.
questions on any of that before we wrap up?
Yeah, and we'll also be giving you another thing I wanted to say is that if you sign up and you do it, you also are gonna get an exercise for me. It's not in this, not in the curriculum. That's for building core strength and tendons and strengthening the arms and the hands and the body. And Gwyn's gonna do something that I forget what is
Five
it.
practice,
Yeah,
that'd
the
be-
5 element practice, which is gonna deal with emotional energies and the building blocks, energies, and also you all will get a one-on-one session. No charge with me and Gwyn at the end of, you complete the course, you get a free class with us. We can work on what you need to work on and focus totally on you.
What about t-shirt?
I know, right? We're getting a static dance t-shirts made soon. I don't have any Qigong t-shirts yet.
What's the next dance?
15th, so that's not, what is that week? Yeah, that's the week from, yeah. That's the International Dance Studio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
For this one moment, let's
bow out.
let's take a moment, and let's bow out. Close the dojo. We've already thanked ourselves and everybody. So let's keep it simple. Make your fist and down. Thank you, everybody, for making this possible. Really appreciate it.